Hi, I'm Christopher Herring. I'm the Executive Director of Global Chamber San Antonio, and welcome to What in the World? What in the World is brought to you today by Riverwalk Magazine. Riverwalk Magazine was published in San Antonio, Texas, beginning in 2007. And so we'd like to thank Riverwalk Magazine for being a sponsor of today's show. Listen, COVID-19 has changed how we operate to everything that we do. And as I'm looking at all of the headlines across the United States and across the world, I know that we have a great belief in our home and our property, and the dream of America is to own a home. And I'm looking at professional realtors in their own capacity. I'm trying to figure out exactly how do we navigate in this new norm of opening up our marketplaces. So today we have a very special guest, Garza, and Grace is going to help us to understand as we're working through the COVID-19. So welcome to What in the World.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, as we know, everything has changed. So from the way we grocery shop, from even to go to the doctor. Doctors are selective as to even the patients that they're taking. So everything around us has changed, and we're pretty much living under a blanket of fear. One of those things is real estate. We all need a roof over our heads.
Yes.
Whether you're renting, whether you're buying, whether you want to upgrade your home or do I downgrade, because everything is just an uncertainty, and we don't really know what we don't know, right? That's our greatest fear. It's the unknown. And in the real estate world, how it's changed, everything has changed. Yeah. Down to how do you even find a home? Where do you start?
Now that we're mask wearing and we're doing social distancing, take us down the path of really what this new relationship is with your client that you have today that's changed from before.
Well, it's kind of hard to just narrow it down to one thing, because there are so many things that we have to be aware of, and we have to truly be cautious, and most of all, it's creating a boundary of space. So, thinking of where I'm going to live, well, that's a space you're going to live, but how do we get there, right?
Yes.
And as a potential buyer, it's especially a first-time buyer, where do I start? So it's my job as a realtor to make sure that my safety is always, thought of, your safety, and
yes,
where we're going to get you in. Because if someone is living in the house that you are interested in,
right, I
have to be cautious and of everything, basically, where we're stepping into, respecting boundaries and respecting each other's space. So one of the key items, the mask thing, right? So do we wear a mask? Do we not wear a mask? Everything is questionable. But what's not questionable is that we have to think safety first.
Good.
And
so we really can't let the politics of, we have Democrats saying one thing, Republicans saying another thing, the independents say what they want to say. Politics really can't be a part of customer service.
We have to take it out, because your number one thing is your health, right?
Yes.
You have to take care of your health. And so whatever side of the fence you're on, when it comes to providing a service, I am not here to decide for you, or do I think you should wear a mask, or that actually we need to take that conversation out, because we're not here to talk about politics. We're talking about how do we get you into your next home or your next milestone in the safest way possible.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we definitely consider is everything is virtual.
Okay.
We've moved into a virtual world, Technology, it's been out there, but we've never used it to this capacity. So now we really have to be creative and innovative. Is how can I provide a service while having your trust?
Okay.
I have to make sure that you trust me in not only in representing you during a business transaction, but how can I do it safely, because you may have children, So I need to be aware of all of these things, you know, so
I
having.
might have a live-in grandparent,
Exactly.
or I may have a live-in parent.
Exactly, and so now it's, you know, before the COVID-19, you can go into, you know, a broker's office and you can sit down and, would you like some water? You were used to touching, right?
Right.
Or shaking hands. Well, now we have to transition all of that energy into this platform.
I see.
You know, we have to be able to make eye-to-eye
Yes.
connection in a virtual platform, basically. And so we definitely do buyer meetings online. It's very important that my clients see my face, because you can have a verbal conversation,
Right.
but what does that person really look like? How do they convey the message?
Yes.
And so having either a FaceTime call, a Zoom call, that's step one, to be able to say, okay, this is a person that I'm working with. And buying a residential home is it's a very emotional process. You know, what are you walking away from? What are you stepping into? So there's so many different aspects, but definitely having a virtual platform to provide services, making sure that the houses we're stepping into are safe as well.
You know, back in the day, virtual tours of homes were really only done for, I would call them like the Christie estates, the bigger, the $1 million mansions and homes. But now what you're really saying is that at every price point, the virtual tour, the virtual showing has to be factored into showing this real estate that maybe your client just won't be comfortable going into every single home.
Exactly right. There are some buyers out there that are really afraid to step into this home. And so one of the services that I provide is a 3D tour.
Oh.
So, you know, we're used to, if you go on Google Maps and you punch in an address and you click on the little button and it takes you further, you can go to the right, you can, you know,
Yes.
do a 360. So I actually provide that for all my clients.
Okay.
So if there's a client that maybe they can't get into town until next weekend, or they're traveling and they're stuck somewhere, I will go through the addresses that they have caught their eye. We kind of narrow it down, and I'll go in there myself, and I actually create this tour, and it's amazing because it's also a 3D dollhouse. So I send them this link, and it's literally like they are inside the home.
Wow.
So it's very effective.
So when I'm thinking about how the playing field was probably even Steven to a certain degree in real estate before COVID, now it seems as though the virtual services that you're providing and other services probably is really the differentiator between who I would choose to list my home or who I would choose to represent me in buying a home. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Representation is key. I truly believe that I represent my buyer or my seller from day one, not only to closing, but for all future transactions.
Okay.
Because we are in a referral business, right? So our business does not end when you get the keys to your house. It's an ongoing business. So it's very important that you have a realtor that you trust, number one, that is knowledgeable, and that has services at the click of a finger. Just everything is there. Everyone walks around with their phone, their smartphones. You know, I can provide you a link that says, hey, tell me what you like, what you don't like. You want to see a 3D tour, you just click on this link. You have questions on it. Everything is now right in your hand.
So how do people find you? Just to let our audience know, you are a professional realtor.
Yes.
So how do people find you, and what's your company?
We do help a lot of military families, but you can find me on social media at Graceful Realtor 1. My email is gracefulrealtor1@gmail.com or 210-379-1281.
And we'll be able to add this information to our video. I do know that you mentioned military, and I'm retired military. So why is the military, is that a target population that you feel that you would love to serve?
Yes, military families, families transitioning, it's something that is really actually close to my heart.
Okay.
My daughter's on her path to enlisting in the Air Force.
Oh.
Actually, she's commissioning. Her degree is just her backup plan, but it's to commission as an officer into the Air Force. Her father proudly served as well in the Marine Corps. Her grandfather served, retired Air Force, and great-grandfather during World War II.
Well, you're in a great market. Military City, USA
Absolutely.
provides you with the ability to serve our military community, and I wish your daughter the best, because I was Air Force. I was a commissioned officer in the Air Force, and for all you other services out there, the Air Force is the best. Grace, as we're looking at the military families that need to be served, I mean, many of them are coming from overseas. So when we're talking again about your services, do you provide other services as well as the virtual that help you in being able to work their needs as they transition from assignment to assignment?
Yes, absolutely. So being that this is military town, USA, you know, the majority of my clientele is military.
Okay.
Either they're active military, retired, but I actually have worked with several clients overseas. I recently just helped a client that was in Germany.
Okay.
And we did the transition. A lot of it is online. Again,
You said contracts and so forth now, that those are also
absolutely
via email.
So everything is electronic. We're literally in electronic world now. So
Even handling the money?
everything we can do, you can wire money, you can do a domestic wire, international wire. Contracts are all done online. You can even close on the house in the convenience.
I bought my Alamo picture a little bit closer for you to see, because this woman is actually, she's a change agent. She's made tremendous history, and I didn't even know it before today. So what happened with the Alamo? The Alamo defines city of San Antonio. So what did you do with this Alamo, and why?
Well, the Alamo actually only allowed the American flag and the Texas flag to be flown. They actually change the flag every night.
Oh.
They do it between 2 and 3 in the morning when there's no tourists around. They do the change of the flag. And again, it's only the U.S. and the Texas flags that are allowed to be flown over. And
I didn't know that. I don't know how many of you knew. I did not know that.
so I felt that it would only be appropriate to allow all 5 flags of the military branches to be flown, because they serve and protect the soil of the Alamo. So even though they may not have been founded back during the Battle of the Alamo, they are still protected to this day. And so what I did was I actually reached out to the committee of the Alamo, and for about a month and a half, we worked diligently to make a request to the state of Texas
Okay.
to allow and approve the other flags to be flown. So we put together a policy and procedure. I did not know if they were going to fold,
Sure.
but I just felt that it was the right thing to do. This is military town.
Yeah, Military
And
City, USA,
absolutely.
we are.
And San Antonio is known for the Alamo.
Right.
I mean, it's built around the Alamo.
Mhm.
So September of 2018, I actually got the approval
Okay.
that they are now allowing all 5 flags to be flown.
Okay.
And I actually, it was more personal to me, because my daughter's father, who served proudly in the U.S. Marine Corps, passed away
Okay.
in 2017, and he's the most patriotic man I've ever met.
Okay.
And the first flag was flown in his honor. The first U.S. Marine Corps flag
Wow.
was flown. Ooh, that's a little.
Yeah. No, it's a very emotional.
It's
I
a
know.
very emotional. So it was flown in his honor, Corporal Jerry W. Garza,
Mhm. Oh.
and I have that flag for my daughter at home, and it's a very proud moment. And I just hadn't shared it.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you shared this part of history, San Antonio. Are there any parting comments that you'd like to make?
Yes, actually. I think that it's very important for us to really be positive. I know that during times like this, It's very easy for people to become depressed. You know, you're just secluded. And I think that it's so important for us to dig deep, dig just as far as you can go, and find that little bit of energy to look forward to positive things to come. Live a purposeful life. Whatever you think that may be, just know that better days are to come. These moments are temporary. It's just a matter of adapting to the changes.
Very well said, very well said. Ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come. And I believe it. This has been a great show. What in the world? Looking at real estate, not only in America, but all over the world. I mean, realtors are really doing their very best these days to make sure that they're representing their clients and the health of their clients. So during this COVID-19 pandemic, wherever you are in the world, I want you to remember to be safe, to make sure that you treat your clients with the respect that they deserve, by ensuring that those individuals who have homes that are being listed have a comfort to know that whoever comes in their doors, that you've taken the very best precautions to make sure that their overall environment is going to be safe for them to return to. There's a lot of things I'm sure that's going to change in the laws and the ways in which we do things, but again, our show is just basically to expose those things in which maybe people aren't thinking about. Global Chamber has been really great with coming up with our COVID survival kit. You can go on globalchamber.org, and there's some great pieces out there for you. Actually, we have a medical company, MedWheels, and the Global Chamber put together some thoughts in terms of what we believe that every employer and every employee or potential employee should know about their agreement in this new workforce. So we'll share more about that in a future show. I told Jane Gonzalez we'd have her on the show as well. So thank you for your time, and truly may God bless you. And again, this has been a great episode of What in the World with Christopher Herring, Executive Director of Global Chamber San Antonio. You can visit our website at globalchamber.org, sign up for your membership, and we'd love to have new sponsors to this show. We're giving you the best content I think that you can get during this COVID-19 that informs. Take care of yourselves.